tuning in to
WPSP, it's the podcast. We got takes, make picks, get sidetracked. Football and fights and some other stuff too. That's what we talk about, but who's the crew? Aaron Man and Chris Miller are the hosts. We sit around a table and we talk about sports. So let's get it started, we're ready to go. Now turn up your volume, cause here's the show.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to the final episode of Season 3 of WPSP. Unfortunately, Aaron wasn't able to make it today, and unfortunately, we really haven't had an episode since the wild card weekend of the playoffs, and a lot has happened since then. But, you know, we've said it before on air, it's life, it gets busy, it's been the holidays and whatnot, but we're here. I figured we need one more episode just to finish out the season. Not too much to talk about. I don't know. I'm kind of probably going to ramble all over the place. I mean, the big thing is the Super Bowl. I guess before I get to that, let's see where Aaron and I are in our standings, because we've still been making our picks. We've been posting them on Facebook. Let's see here. So, yeah, this season's pretty close. Right now, I am 180, 102, and one tie, and Aaron is up by 181, 101, and one tie. And I assume the season's going to end up with Aaron get me by one, because I have a feeling we're going to pick the same. I actually forgot to ask him who he's picking, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty confident of who he's picking. So I guess... yeah, maybe I'll get into the Super Bowl first, and then, I'll get the picks out of the way, and then I'll ramble on about awards. So if anybody doesn't want to listen to that, at least the picks are out of the way. The season is at a close. So let's see. We got a rematch Super Bowl. I'm not going to get too much into how these teams got here or all the playoffs. I think I would have if, Aaron and I were here, but I kind of just want to wrap this episode up. So, it's Patriots, it's Seahawks, it's a rematch from the Super Bowl back in 2015, and I think a lot of people can remember how that one went. I'll give you a little play-by-play of kind of the final minute of that Super Bowl. The Seahawks were down, but if they got a touchdown, they would be up. There's about a minute left in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, and they were on the Patriots' 40-yard line. And this is the play that I think would have been the highlight play had the Seahawks won that Super Bowl. And it's the play a lot of people forget about. They're on the Patriots' 40-yard line. It's a pass play. And I think it's Jermaine Kearse is running down the right side of the field. Russ throws one up there. And Malcolm Butler, that name's important, he goes and kind of bats at the ball and thinks the play is over, and Kearse falls to the ground, and it bobbles and bobbles, and it's a catch. It's insane. So now they're on the 5-yard line. I can't remember how many timeouts I have left. For some reason, I thought they had most of their timeouts. They have Marshawn Lynch, who's, beast mode back then. And it's first down on the 5-yard line. They need a touchdown to go up and likely win at this point in the game. They hand it off to Marshawn Lynch, and he gains 4 yards, and he almost was so close to getting into the end zone. And a bet man would say, okay, they're going to run it next time. Well, they get out there, and this is the part everybody remembers, is Russ gets the ball, and you got someone running a quick slant, and he throws it, and Malcolm Butler steps in front of it, intercepts it. And that's the game. Then you can see the reaction of Brady jumping up and down celebrating, and then the really famous reaction of Richard Sherman, just the distraught face. And everybody talks about why wouldn't you run, and I would say the same thing. It's one of those things, too, if they passed it and they scored a touchdown, people wouldn't probably be talking about it. But come on. You got Marshawn Lynch. I mean, anyways, that's in the past. Now we're in the future. Well, now we're in the present. Super Bowl's in the future. Anyways, this is the Seahawks' chance at redemption here against the Patriots, but I don't think it's any easy task here. I think the Seahawks overall are a better team, but maybe not by much. I know the Patriots have had kind of an easy schedule. I think at this point, I would take Sam Darnold over Drake May just based on he's kind of exercised his playoff demons. He's looking good. He's got Jackson Smith and Jigba over there. You got K9 Kenneth Walker. It's just an insane defense there. And the Patriots are similar. I mean, they got a pretty decent defense, and their offense is able to get it done. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm rooting for the Seahawks, obviously. I assume Aaron is too. And for this game, I'm going to be picking the Seahawks too. And I assume Aaron is also picking the Seahawks. So I'm just going to double down and say we're both picking the Seahawks here. I am excited for this Super Bowl, though, oddly enough. I mean, don't like to see the Patriots in the Super Bowl, but I am excited for this. I think it's going to be good football. That's kind of quoting Tom Brady, too. They asked Brady, like, who are you picking in this game? He said, I got no dog in the fight. I'm just looking for a good game. And that's kind of what I'm looking for as long as the Seahawks win. But yeah, I think that's most of the Super Bowl stuff to talk about. I don't really got any breakdown analysis or anything. Just wanted to get one more episode out here to kind of close out the season. The other big thing is NFL awards. Those are tomorrow night. So maybe I'll just go through those pretty quick. So let's see. Maybe I'll just go in the order. I'll start with MVP. That's the one really everybody cares about. MVP, the top 5 they have here is Matthew Stafford, Drake May, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, and Christian McCaffrey. Out of those, the 3, and Aaron and I have talked about this before, the 3 that I could see as getting it would be Matthew Stafford, Drake May, and dark horse Josh Allen. I mean, with what he did with the team this year, with kind of working with scraps. But I think it's likely going to come down to Drake May and Matt Stafford. Between the two of them, I think Stafford has better stats. He has some stinker games in there, and we can't count the playoffs. It's all just regular season. But when I look at schedule, the Rams had a tougher schedule than the Patriots. So I got to go with Stafford on this. I think he should be the one to win MVP. It's tricky because when you think about it, you also got to think about what is the value to the team. I mean, what weapons do they have? And maybe they are comparable with the weapons that they have. Let's backtrack that because I forget. The Rams have Puka Nacua, and they got an aging Devontae Adams. And I think of like the improvement that Drake May made to the Patriots over this year. But getting too into the weeds with it, I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford on this one. Offensive Player of the Year listed here. They got Jackson Smith and Jigba. They got C-Mac. They got Puka Nacua. They got Bijan Robinson. And they got Drake May. I think these are all pretty decent options. I really didn't pay attention too much to the stats this year. I mean, it was my first year not doing fantasy football, so I'm really not as aware of how everybody did. But I did hear that Jackson Smith and Jigba had like a lights-out year. So I'll just roll with him. Seems like he's favored. Defensive Player of the Year, the one name that I have been hearing all year is Myles Garrett. He's number 1 on this list. The 5 nominees are Myles Garrett, Will Anderson Jr., Nick Bonito, Aiden Hutchinson, and Micah Parsons. I always mix that one up. But, I mean, this one's undoubtedly Myles Garrett. Just an absolute game wrecker. Broke the sack record this year. Got to go with him. Offensive Rookie of the Year. This is where I'm even more out of my depth on how well everybody did. I'm familiar with the names. The nominees we have here is Tetero. I'm butchering it. This is why I need Aaron on here. He knows how to pronounce stuff. McMillan, that McMillan guy over on the Panthers. Then we got that Dart guy over on the Giants. Oh, great. Now, this guy's last name, I don't know. It's Tyler. It's spelled like show, but I think Aaron was saying it's Shuck or something. So that Tyler guy over at the Saints. We got Emeka Ibuka, and we got Travion Henderson. Gosh, I need to work on my literacy. It looks like this McMillan guy is quite favored here. So I'll roll with him. I mean, Dart was cool though. How he's kind of spiced up the Giants over there, but I mean, he didn't. I think McMillan must have had a pretty good season over there with Bryce Young. I think if Tyler Show, whatever it is, if he started earlier, maybe he would be gunning for the number 2 or 1 spot, but he came in later in the season. But it's kind of a testament to how good he is for him to be tied for, well, this is like NFL votes, like analysts. It's not the real stuff. But for him to be that high on the list was such a short season. But anyways, going with that McMillan guy. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Okay, if you thought I was out of my depth on Offensive Rookie of the Year, it's even worse on Defensive Rookie of the Year. Abdul Carter is the only name I recognize on here, but it seems overwhelming. Well, actually, the 2 that they're going with, though, anyway, I'll just go through this list. We got Carson Schlesinger, Nick Emanwari, Abdul Carter, James Pierce Jr., and Xavier Watts. But it's between Carson Schlesinger and Nick Emanwari. But it looks like Carson's favored. So I guess we'll go with another Browns guy. I mean, that'd be kind of cool if the Browns got Defensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. You could take something away from the season. Comeback Player of the Year. We have Christian McCaffrey, Aiden Hutchinson, Stephon Diggs, Trevor Lawrence, and Dak Prescott. And it looks like C-Mac is favored because he must have had he had a crazy injuries last year. He used to be on my fantasy team. So, yeah, for him to have this crazy good season this year, yeah, I could see him getting that. Yeah. And, Coach of the Year. Oh, yeah, this one makes sense. But Coach of the Year candidates. We got Mike Vrabel. We got Kyle Shanahan. We got Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald, anyways, and Liam Cohen. This one, it seems like Mike Vrabel's favorite. That makes sense. I mean, first year coaching the Patriots takes them from 4-13. Now they're in the Super Bowl, even though I think they only look at the regular season, but still. Kyle Shanahan, though, he's at number 2 listed here, and I would see, in my mind, it is between him and Vrabel, because what Shanahan did with the 49ers, with how many injuries they had this year, that's a testament to coaching right there. Mike McDonald's probably lower on the list because the Seahawks were decent last year, but, I mean, still, great coach with a new quarterback and still able to, I mean, they're in the Super Bowl. So, and even Ben Johnson did with the Bears. And Liam Cohen with it. But I get it. It's Vrabel. I mean, I get it. It's Vrabel. Assistant Coach of the Year, we got Clint Kubiak, who I think they want as the Raiders head coach next year. We got Brian Flores, we got Josh McDaniels, Vance Joseph, and Vic Fangio. Looks like Clint Kubiak's probably going to get this one. Makes sense to me. So, yeah, that's it's pretty much all the awards. Kind of flew through those. Didn't have too much deliberation on it. So speaking of, let's see, we ended up with coaches on those awards. So I guess we could talk a little bit about coaches. I won't get too much into it. Maybe I'll just talk about the Bills coaching changes. I know those have been all through the news, and maybe I'll save the rest for Season 4 at WPSP. But yeah, the Bills now, we promoted Joe Brady to head coach. As you all know, too, Brandon Beane is our president of football operations. But the more interesting hires, too, are both from Denver. I got to look up let's see, should I look these up? I know it's something Leonard for our defensive coordinator. Not how. Who are the Bills coordinators? They're both from Denver. I kind of know the backstory. Okay, so Pete Carmichael Jr. is our offensive coordinator, and he worked with Brady prior, I think probably in the Sean Payton coaching tree, over with the Saints. And I think back then Brady was actually lower than Carmichael, kind of in the hierarchy. But it sounds like Carmichael's a pretty good schemer, like coming up with strategery, as George Bush would say, offensive game planning, but not the best play caller, which works out because Brady will be doing the offensive play calling. So now if they call something that we don't really like, now we know, okay, it's Brady. Brady's under the spotlight there. And then defensive coordinator, we got Jim Leonard. So he was with the Broncos, and he was one of their passing coaches. And, Broncos' defense was good. They also had good safeties, though, so it'll be interesting to see. But we got fresh blood in here now, so I'm going to keep an open mind. I'm hopeful now. I think myself and probably a lot of other people, initial reactions after the Denver Bills game, when McDermott got fired, there's a lot of confusion, being upset, and not knowing, like, man, why didn't they fire Bean, or why didn't they do this? And I went through that too. A little bit of being upset, then a little bit of just confusion. And eventually I just came to terms with, I'm not there. I don't know what's happening. I would love to be a fly on the wall and see, okay, what really went down over these past 7 or 8 years, or what went down over this past season. Who's pulling what strings, or what's the reason for what? But at this point, if you looked at it at a broader view, it is true. We need to get over that hump, and we haven't gotten over that. So now I've moved past like the 5 stages of grief, or whatever they call it. Now I'm hopeful, but this is the cycle for many football fans out there. You get your hope, then you have a slump during the season, then you get your hope again, then you get your heart crushed. Then you're confused and mad, and then you're like, all right, I gotta look forward, be hopeful for what's next. So I'm hopeful for what's next with this Bills team. I think Joe Brady might not have been what everybody was expecting, but it's also safe for Josh because he's been working with Josh. It's been a good offense. And Josh had a little bit of a say in this coaching pick too. So that makes me feel a little more confident. I'm intrigued to see what the new scheme will be. I think last year our problem was, Josh could play Superman so much, but the defense couldn't keep us in games or to finish the games. And the other problem was some of our roster. So I'm intrigued. What is promoted Brandon Beane going to do in this draft and free agency? Is he going to put his money where his mouth is, or whatever? He's got the bigger paychecks now, so is he going to, I don't know, is it going to correlate? And, and this new coaching regime, I'm excited to see what happens. Josh is in his prime right now, so we need to take advantage of that. But, my buddy Nick, he'll say copium. So that's Kyle, coping with the playoff loss, looking forward, see what free agency and the draft have for us, get ready for the next season. Speaking of next season, so this will be the final episode of Season 3 of WPSP. Hopefully Aaron will be back. Maybe we'll bring a guest on for the draft, because I don't follow college football too much, so we had Pete on here once for the draft. Maybe we'll get him on here. He seems to know college ball. We'll get someone on here so then Aaron and whoever can banter a little more about the draft. I might just do more of a NFL breakdown of like what the teams need and any of that. But anyways, that's next season. That's what you can look forward to. WPSP Season 4. Hopefully be back for the draft. I think that's in April. But anyways, to wrap up, Season 3 here. Thanks for watching. We see the likes. We see the comments. We appreciate it. And, till next time, go Bills.